My name is Roberto Flores. I'm a mechanical engineering sophomore, and this is my mechanical dissection video for the Mechanics-Based Design Lab project. I will be dissecting a Mr. Coffee coffee maker model BVMC SC100. From what I can tell, it was manufactured around 2015, and I personally got it at the thrift store a few years ago for about $5. Basically how it works is that it has this reservoir in the top here that you fill with water. There's this heating element that heats the water, and then water is then pumped through the front here, which has this little K-cup holder, and it goes through that into the coffee grounds and then out the bottom, giving you a nice brewed cup of coffee. And now we just start taking it apart. So the issue that I'm running into is that it has these little star screws here, and it's making it quite a pain to unscrew. So I was able to get one of the star screws out, but this other one seems to be giving me a bit more trouble. So I'm just going to try and bend this metal plate down here and try and get it out like that instead. Alright, so as we can see, there are clearly a lot of wires, and following the plug, we can see that it's connected into this little circuit board bit. So there's these two screws holding it in, and I'm going to try and take them out now. Okay, well, it seems like the battery's wired in there pretty well, but I did take out these two smaller screws that seem to be holding in this front piece. So now I'm going to try and take off the front piece to this and see if that helps any. Alright, so I managed to get the back case off, so I guess we don't need that anymore. And so now we really can just see the raw skeleton of the inside of this thing, and it's pretty neat. It's pretty gnarly. Here we can see the on and off button being connected into the circuit board I was mentioning earlier. And on the inside here, the circuit board kind of feeds into this little coil of wires here. These wires then kind of go into this heating element right here into various points. Alright, well, I've determined that any more dissection per se would definitely be catastrophic, but on the other hand, I have actually pretty well figured out how it works, or at least the interactions with the reservoir. Okay, so I've switched to my phone for a little better close-up interaction with this with the reservoir system here. So you kind of put the water in here, and when it starts up, there's this little hole right there. And this hole feeds into the reservoir right back here. And after that, it comes out on top out of this little thing, comes out right there. This little metal piece here, that seems to be some sort of thermistor, judging by its connection to the two wires right there. These two wires are, again, all the way down here connected to this circuit board that's trapped in this little casing. So it seems like it uses that to determine when the water is hot enough. And then after that, it pumps the water through this little cap here, which I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it pumps that through this center tube right there, that center tube, which then feeds it all the way around here and into this little bit, this little box. Now, I wasn't able to get inside that box, but I suspect that it's just a pump that pumps the water up through this tube here and finally out through the top of the coffee maker there. Alright, well, that's about it for the dissection bit. You know, I think I'm right about the casing and inner like skeleton being injection molded. As for the heating element, I'm not entirely sure how they did that, but again, it seems to be like a standard design. It doesn't seem to be anything super complex. As far as how the loads are distributed on it, there's really not much of a load except in the tubing and in the reservoir from the coffee. I mean, and it only is meant to brew 1 cup at a time, and it can only fit as much as it can in the reservoir. So there's really never going to be that much of a load on it. As far as safety concerns go, obviously heat is going to be your main issue. There's scalding water in here to be brewed into coffee, so naturally you want to make sure that, you know, the system isn't going to be radiating so much heat that you can't touch it or anything. And whatever material they chose for this plastic seems to be very heat resistant, because I've never had any problems with it while I was brewing coffee. Alright, and that ends my dissection video. Thank you very much for watching.